In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.
Welcome back to the Tech Zone. Paul Amadeus Lane, ABC News Radio KMET, talking about technology. And don't forget, coming up in our last segment, if you're a tech startup company and you want to showcase your talents at CES 2020, you just don't have the money to do so, well, you're going to want to listen in to the interview coming up in our third segment on how they are giving you an opportunity to win a sweepstakes, this contest, so that you can be there at CES 2020. All right. A few years ago, I interviewed this one amazing company about VR and how they were using it when it comes to rehabilitation. I kept in contact with these two over the years, and I always loved what they were about, loved what they did. I always wanted to be a part of the family. Well, am I a part of the family? We'll see after the interview, but I wanted to have them on as we talked about this new piece of innovation that they have. About 4 months ago, I think I had them on. Well, now it's ready to ship. Now it's ready for you to buy. So let's talk about the ways that VR can help you out when it comes to getting healthy, and especially if you are disabled or an aging adult. You don't want to miss this interview. And I'm so happy to be with me right now, live from MIERON HQ. We got Jess Maslin and Josh Dubon. What's up, guys? How are you?
We are great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Great to have you guys with me on the show. Some amazing things have been happening with the company, so I'm so glad you decided to come on and chat with me and talk about it. So why don't we do this? Ladies first. So Jess, tell me what's been going on with MIERON, my friend.
Hey, well, it's so good to catch up with you, Paul. We've had a lot of development, headquarters, so we have a lot of growth, and one of the most exciting things that's come with our growth is being able to introduce a home product that we have called MIERON GO. So in the past, for the past 2 years, MIERON has been available exclusively for healthcare providers using the MIERON Rehab Pro product in hospitals, and we've had over 3,000 treatments delivered to patients around the world with spinal cord injuries, brain injuries, all sorts of musculoskeletal disorders, and even just using it for pain management. But one of the biggest things that we've been hearing is, okay, my insurance has stopped after my 8 weeks of rehab. Now what? Can I use MIERON at home? Can I have it at my house? Can I bring it home with me? So we're finally able to say yes, that you can do that, and we have an awesome product that delivers all the same great principles of PT, OT, and neurological engagement, but you can use it on your own time in your own home.
I love it. I love it. So, Josh, talk about this journey you guys have been on, because I remember we met a few years ago when you were talking about the clinical one that you had at hospitals, and then I heard about this great new idea that you guys had to put this to market so we can do this at home. Talk about the journey getting it to this point.
Well, it's definitely been a journey. I think it's been a huge educational experience, as in any company, you have to identify what the end user needs. And in this case, the end user became very clear to us that it wasn't just for the healthcare facility. Obviously, the root of it was to help all these different people, but now let's make it more accessible. So our biggest focus is how many people can we help around the world? And the whole reason we're doing this, back to the roots, is because we really care about the people that's using MIERON, and we're just so excited to be where we're at.
No, this is awesome, guys. And Jess, when we look at what Josh was talking about and building on that, when it comes to like even tackling something like this, was there any kind of trepidations like, wait a minute, should we, shouldn't we? Should we stick to the game plan, what we're doing right now, before we jump into the kind of consumer-based thing? Share that with us if you don't mind.
So I think that's one of the most unique things about our team here at MIERON, is that we're always big collaborators and we're always open to new ideas. So when we first started hearing people wanting to use Mieron at home, we never really shut it down as a no, we can't do that. It was more of a let's regroup and figure out how we can make this technology the most accessible it can be. Accessible from a standpoint of being able to bring VR into your own home, but also accessible in the standpoint of if a practitioner is no longer administering Mieron, how can someone with limited dexterity or limited mobility put the headset on, use the headset, and navigate their way through these different experiences that we've created? So, there's always things that are challenges for whatever different reasons, whether it's figuring out how to make an experience more effective or how to roll out an entirely new product. We're always down for the challenge. And we like that. It really keeps us driven. We're innovators in technology. We have been for years. And having an opportunity to continue to create something new is really what drives us.
Well said, well said. And Josh, piggybacking on with what Jess said, when it comes to building this product, ones with limited dexterity, you even thought about folks like me with the big old gigantic heads because they even fit me too. So talk about having something that's aesthetically pleasing but also can fit all the domes out there, even my big dome.
Yeah, so what's really great about what we're doing and utilizing the headset that we use, which is Lenovo's Mirage Solo headset, is it has so much functionality. The way that the back strap works, it works kind of like a snowboarder's or a ski boot where it just clips on and it's easy to tighten. The functionality is very versatile for sure. But yes, the controller itself, I'm sure people see a lot of different types of VR controllers out there. And yeah, those are really cool for people that have full dexterity and can use both hands and can grip and use their thumbs and everything. But the realistic expectations of how people can utilize those in our specific industry and what we're focusing on it's really hard to do that. It's hard for people that have full function of their hands to do some of these VR experiences. So utilizing the controller and the headset that we have is really important because it is very general. It's something that a lot of people can be a part of. And back to our development and the experiences that are inside of the Mieron library, it's about how many people can we get integrated and how many people can be a part of the experience and, not feel left out. So a huge part of what we focus on is the user experience and how are we making a comfortable, library, I guess you'd say, a comfortable experience for the end user. So we've done a lot of development on all different types of headsets, all different types of gear, and currently we're really happy utilizing the Lenovo headset, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, talk about that partnership with Lenovo. Jess, what made you guys want to, I guess, partner with them? Was it something that they were doing that maybe others were not? Why that partnership?
So we utilize the Lenovo Mirage Solo headset for a couple of reasons. I'll piggyback on what Josh was saying. For one, for our end users, people that may not have full range of motion, full dexterity, it's a very user-friendly headset. A lot of people that are using Mieron, it's actually their first time using VR. So although it has really great functionality, really great processing power, it's also not intimidating to get into and to use as a first-time VR user. Another one of the great things about the headset that we're excited about for Mieron Rehab Pro is that the headsets that we ship out to hospitals have silicone inlays. So they pass all the hospital's criteria for infection control. They're easily wiped down. They won't get sweaty from lots of different people. They're very hygienic. So in the past, we were using a kind of like a ninja mask. This just takes one more step away. So we're trying to make it the easiest, most effective, quick, and pain-free process that it can be. And we've had a lot of success with that with this headset.
You guys thought about everything. You thought about everything, Jess. And Josh, when we look at just the library that you put in the consumer one versus the one for hospitals and rehab facilities out there, how were you able to, I guess, strike a good balance, with the libraries?
So what we want to be able to pull from the versions at the facilities is to make sure that there's quality interventions between the client and the practitioner, and just safety in general. There's some things like the gait training. If you're harnessed up to a TheraStride or a Locomat machine, obviously most people don't have that at home, but when you're utilizing that in a facility, that is definitely needs to be done under supervision. Some of the experiences that you're doing at home, they're things that you can do by yourself. That's the whole focus. There's, experiences that focus on core and trunk stability, but it's also just making sure that we're applying and giving the right tools and instructional information for people at home to utilize it in a safe environment. So what we mean by that is, okay, make sure we have an area that's wide enough for you to be able to do some of the games where you're leaning over and doing pressure releases and PNF patterns, cross pattern movements. It's about safety and making sure that each experience is appropriate for the environment that it's in.
Now, when it comes to the different trainings that are in there, Josh, that we can do at home, I had an opportunity to play around with my favorite balloon pop and some of the other ones. And that's one thing I really like about the experience that you guys have created. Not only are we getting a workout, but you made it fun. Was that a core value you guys wanted to make sure that you instituted, especially when it came to the ones that you used in the hospital? Because let's face it, I had to do therapy when I first had my accident. I was not smiling. It wasn't no fun. But to have something like Mieron there to kind of lift up the psychological aspect of your brain while you're doing some workout, was it kind of an effort that you guys wanted to make these experiences fun?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we can create a better experience for the client to have fun, yeah, that's obviously that is super important. But the main thing about something that's fun is there's a lot of things and there's some companies out there that utilize fun experiences just for distraction purposes, which is the easiest thing you can do in virtual reality. That's what separates Mieron and anybody else in the world, is that it's fun, but it's fun with a purpose. It's a real activity that's focused on rehab and rehabilitation. And yeah, absolutely. You're popping balloons, but you're doing those experiences and you're not realizing that it's an exercise. You're in there trying to get a high score and all these great things, but then your practitioner, if you're in a clinical setting, it's like, wow, they're activating this muscle group and that, and they're able to really track progress, with all the analytical tools that we're currently continuing to build in every version. And, the at-home version, it's just something that is a little bit more interactive. And when you're having fun and you're interactive and you want to be doing the activity that you're currently involved in, you're going to exert yourself with more intensity for a longer period of time. There is a pain management aspect to that because you're not focused on, ouch, this hurts. It's focused on the task at hand. And that's why it's important to understand the pain management tools that are built in with every single experience. Your pain perceptors are turned off, essentially.
Yeah, that is so true. And when it comes to these experiences, Jess, the question I wanted to ask you was when you try to, I guess, explain Mieron to either a health professional or someone like myself who has a disability, what do you think the misunderstanding comes in? Because sometimes, people, when they're not, familiar with the technology or something that'll help them out, how do you help bridge those gaps, the ones out there to say, hey, give Mieron a try?
Yeah, it's a good question. That comes down to a couple different factors. With virtual reality and our virtual reality neurotherapy program, we're really targeting someone that is a tech adopter or is interested in exploring and playing with and immersing themselves in a new technology. And sometimes we'll have people, whether it's practitioners or end users, that are like, oh, no, I'm not into video games. I don't want to do it. But if they try it, their entire perspective changes. So that's a big thing that we really try to do, is to get out to hospitals, do in-services, go to different community events, and show people as much as we can that this technology is not intimidating. you're probably going to have a lot of fun in it, and I guarantee you're really not going to want to take it off after your 3-minute experience. We've had that so many times at trade shows and expos where people will be like, oh, well, I'll try it and see. And then they want to do another experience. They want to do another experience. They can't get enough of it. They come back to the booth later in the day. So, getting people to try it is the first.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, once they do, they love it.
You're talking about my experience, right? I didn't want to take it off, right, Jess?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
I mean, you would go with batteries then. Luckily for you, this headset has a really great battery life.
Yes.
So you're in good shape.
Yes, it does.
I kind of want to go in. If I can switch the script here on you, we want to ask you some questions. And you being a Mieron Go user at home, can you tell us about your experience and why you favor Mieron Go versus maybe some other types of activities, or how you're pairing them, and give us your experience about it.
Well, see, Josh is doing gotcha journalism on me now, so I'm going to answer. No, I'm just joking. No, it's what I love about Mieron is that it's easy to use, it's engaging, and for someone like myself, it's hard to do rehab or therapy by myself because I always need someone to help me out, to put my leg somewhere, to grab me something like some dumbbells or something. But with Mieron, I can put the headset on myself. I'm able to activate things. The menu, the games, and it just gives me like more of a social workout than a physical workout, and it's something that I really really enjoy. And I love it, man. It's part of my weight loss and lifestyle journey now. I know I talked to you guys about that, about how I'm a chronicle, how many LBs I'm going to use, and how Mieron's going to help me do that. But I just love it, Josh. I mean, it's something that I cannot do without, and I love to tell others about it as well too.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you were saying earlier about if us deliberately making sure that these experiences, they're exercises, they're supposed to be physical exercises that really challenge your range of motion and mobility, but they're fun because let's face it, if you're in a facility and they're asking you to do a repetitive motion, the practitioner wants you to hit the green circle in the center of their hand 20 times in a row, it can get a little bit boring, it can get monotonous. But if you're doing something in VR that's an otherwise maybe impossible scenario, or it's something that's just more fun and engaging, has some gamified elements, or scorekeeping, you can keep your old scores, you can keep track of your progress, that's going to make your rehab more fun. You're going to be more motivated to participate in it. Because if you don't, then you lose your gains. And if you lose your gains, that could be losing more mobility, which could be losing some independence. And our biggest goal is to help people improve their mobility, improve their independence, which will be a better quality of life. So all of our experiences are meant to be fun, engaging, easy to use, but still a challenge on your muscle groups, and most of all, just being able to enjoy the experience.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to chronicling my journey with Mieron on social media, on all the different platforms out there, so ones can see how I use it, how I enjoy it. And, we kind of talked about this last time, too. We might have talked about it in person, about one thing I like about Mieron, too. Let's say someone has some social disabilities, maybe agoraphobia or something. This can help them to kind of, be used to certain surroundings and things like that. Is that true, Josh and Jess, or am I just running my mouth and not know what I'm talking about?
Oh, no, that's absolutely true. And there's a lot of different ways that VR can be utilized, and that we're implementing it today and also behind the scenes for future development. But one of the really exciting things is that sometimes we'll develop an experience with one idea in mind. Like, okay, this will be lateral reach and pressure releases and PNF patterns. And then practitioners and end users will put it into effect in completely new ways. And one of the things about this with gait training that we ran into was gait training, our premise is to have it in facilities. You're either in a locomotor, if you're in a stride, you're doing some sort of assisted walking. And the experience is forward moving, so you feel like you're walking, and your brain will hopefully fire some new nerve pathways to imagine walking differently than you currently do today. We see that a lot with reciprocal arm motion coming back. and proper foot placement. But one of the most interesting things that someone said to me was, wow, that was like going for a walk and no one was looking at me funny, no one was staring at me. And I hadn't really thought about that social element of going outside, going for a walk, and just, being anonymous out there and not having someone looking at you in your chair with your arm crutches or whatever you think people are looking at. You don't have that social stigma in VR. So it can make you eventually more comfortable with going out into those social settings in real life.
So many possibilities, guys. So many possibilities. And I know whenever we get together and I chat, I always talk about how you guys are on the right side of history when it comes to this type of technology. And so, Jess, I have my Mieron, you have yours. Josh has his. How can everyone else make sure they get a Mieron too?
Paul, thank you for asking. And first, we just want to thank you for being part of the Mieron family, for being one of our brand ambassadors. We're so happy to have you on board and to be collaborating with you. For everyone else that wants to try Mieron, at MieronVR.com, and you can see the different products we have: Mieron Go for home use and Mieron Rehab Pro for healthcare providers. If you're ordering Mieron Go, make sure to use the promo code Paul on Wheels for a special discount. And also to check out our accessible gaming accessories that come with every Mieron Go headset so that you can get the most out of your virtual reality neurotherapy treatment.
I love it, Jess. You guys are amazing. I'm happy to be a part of the family. Josh, thank you for letting me be a part of the family as well, too. And guys, always great catching up with you. And I look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Much success to you and the rest of the team.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you so much, Paul.
I'm so happy to be a part of the Mieron family as one of their brand ambassadors. I'm so excited. I'm going to be chronicling my use of the Mieron VR and how it's helping me out to stay healthy and fit, so you don't want to miss that. Huge shout out to Jessica Maslin and Josh Dubon. I call her Jess. I should have called her Jessica, but it's all good. Those are my buddies. Hey, when we get back, do you want to be at CES 2020 exhibiting? If you are a startup tech company, well, you have to stay tuned after the break and find out how you could have this possibility. Be right back. More show here on ABC News Radio KMET. I'm Paul Amadeus Lane, and you're in the Tech Zone.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.